Hey Chris, thanks for coming to be with us today. These are Yamaha's new MGP series of mixers, and I've never seen anything like them, either from Yamaha or any other company. What can you tell me about what the MG Premium brings to the market that wasn't there from the existing MG series, or what they've taken from the MG series?
Okay, well, the MGP, or the MG Premium as we like to call them, is essentially a brand new form of compact mixer that takes the best of analog and digital and brings something new to the table. For example, we've got the Class A D-Pre head amps. We've got the new expressive 3-band EQ, which gives you a really nice, smooth and musical sound. We've got one-knob compressors on every channel. So on the primary mic preamps, we've got this one-knob compressor that allows you to tame the sounds that you would be mixing through this particular desk. And we've also got some fantastic effects. So not only do we have the SPX effects, which you would find on a lot of our MG mixers, but we also have the RevX reverbs for the first time on an analog console. I mean, the desks are made from a rugged metal chassis. They feature an integrated universal power supply. They're 4-bus desk. They have dual auxiliary sends and dual effects buses, and they have built-in rack ears as well, so you can mount them in a standard rack unit.
Yeah, I've not seen that before, and you mentioned the mono channels and then the built-in effects processors, of which we have 2. And I see these channels over here labeled Ducker, and they have their own special coloring. What are those about?
Yeah, this is something that's brand new. This is the hybrid stereo channel, so this is really taking the best of both worlds. The hybrid stereo channels aren't just analog, they give us some really important DSP features that are great for real-life applications. So for example, at the top of the channel, we've got something called the Ducker. The Ducker effect allows you to, say for example, play some background music in a restaurant, and you could have somebody using a microphone to call out some food orders. When they actually speak through the microphone, it automatically lowers the level of the background music, and then when they finish doing the order, the music smoothly and automatically returns to its former level. You've then got the leveler. The leveler effect is really cool for smoothing out the dynamics that we find in different genres of music. So for example, we're all using iPods to plug into the desk before a gig or as background music during the interval. Rather than it jumping from some really loud rock music that's been heavily compressed and has a really fierce dynamic range, and then jump into some nice, smooth, mellow, operatic music, rather than having this big jump in the dynamics, it just evens it all out nicely for us. And then on top of that, you've got something called the stereo imager. Effectively, it allows you to have 3 different modes. There's the mono mode, which allows you to run a mono signal into a mono PA system or for a zoned system. There's the blend function, which is very useful in commercial environments or installation situations where you may have speakers widely spread apart, but you want the people listening to that music to hear the sound as it should be intended. So it eliminates the problem that you might get where you've got music where it's got all the drums in the left-hand side and the bass in the right-hand side.
It's like on the old records, right?
Yeah, kind of like what you'd get from the Beatles' early records.
So then we obviously have a stereo mode when you're just using the channels as regular stereo.
Absolutely. Channels. The stereo mode does exactly what it says on the tin.
And if you don't mind, you mentioned the effects processors over here. Can you tell me a bit more about them? I know we have the famous RevX and the SPX. What do they bring to us? Yeah,
well, the RevX reverbs, this was first introduced to the market in the SPX 2000 effects processor, and ever since that time it's been used in all our high-end digital mixing consoles as well. On this particular desk we have 3 reverb programs with various varieties of them, giving us 8 programs in total. The SPX effects, this brings 16 programs to the table, and it gives us a really nice balance of some additional reverbs. We've got some delays and echoes, we've got some phasers and flanges, and then we've got the legendary symphonic Yamaha effects program.
One of the things I've noticed also is that when we go into a delay mode, we have this dedicated tap tempo button over here. That's got to be
the tap tempo is a really nice addition as well. So yeah, it's good to have that on there.
So looking at it just in really quick summary, we have Class A mic preamps on the mono channels going into a Class EQ design with a Stereosys built in to give us those very lovely warm sounds we know from previous recordings that we may enjoy. We have stereo channels that are hybrids with analog and digital technology going on in them. 2 built-in processors so we can just take the mixer and go into a gig, and we have our dynamics controlled here on the mono channels. We have our reverbs and other effects built into the mixer, and they're very high quality, so it's ready to go. And I love seeing all those features, but one of the things that I see here that seems really interesting is the Apple iPod port. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a brand new feature for a Yamaha desk of any sort. This is a certified Apple connection port. It basically means that I can connect my iPod or iPhone, I can stream my music into the desk, but I can also charge my iPhone as well. So, you know, there's nothing worse than going to the gig and your girlfriend calls you up to let you know something unimportant on the way to the gig. You run out of battery, so when you need to get a taxi home, you're buggered basically. So this charging feature is a really nice little addition for us.
You don't have to worry about the music playing and wearing out during the course of the show, because it could be all of your backing tracks and whatnot. So even if the power's almost out, one click.
Constantly charging.
So how do you actually route that into the...
I was just about to say that. The really nice thing is that just at the touch of a button, I can route it to channels 15 and 16, so we can access some of the hybrid stereo features, or I can send it directly to the 2-track in, which comes up here, which I can then route to the monitor or the stereo bus.
Oh, that seems really cool. Can't wait to take one of these out and try it on a gig myself.